Premendra here. 1 minute. There is a lady who's been screaming for the last 3-4 rounds. Please.
There was a video of yours which went viral yesterday of you pulling up the collector in Kamaredi district, but responding to your video, the Telangana Minister KTR has applauded and he has said that very good job done by the collector is what KTR says. What do you have to say?
I am not here to judge whether the collector has done a good job or a bad job.
But and he is unpresent with your way of talking to the collector.
Can I answer now? I am not here to judge about the conduct of the collector. But as a people's representative, I have every business to ask a question. And when I ask a question, please point out to me, through that entire conversation before that PDS ration shop, if there was anything objectionable, unparliamentary, discourteous language that I've used. So as a people's representative, if I ask a question to an administrator, and if he is unable to give me an answer, I even went to the extent of saying, oh, you don't have an answer now? Maybe after half an hour, you can give me. I said that also. Now, if after that, somebody, whoever be it, minister, MP, MLA, whoever be it, media, if you think that wasn't right, you have every right to your opinion. But I think, as a people's representative, I have every business to ask and seek an answer. If my language was objectionable, you have every business to comment. But I think I have not crossed any limits of parliamentary language, discourteous language, none of that. So where is the objection?
Madam, the 15th Finance Commission has, I'm Rahul from the Hindu. The 15th Finance Commission has clearly recommended to the Government of India to revisit the FRGM Act. After all, the Act is 20 years old.
The 15th Finance Commission
has recommended to Government of India to revisit the FRGM Act. It's almost 20 years old now. I'm asking this question in the background of frequent posers of our Chief Minister that the limit of FRGM has not been raised for the government, state government to raise additional loans. What is your stand on
15th Finance Commission recommends. During COVID, because of the contingency, which was the arising out of the pandemic and the lockdown, the borrowing limits of the states were increased from 3% to almost up to 5%. Some with, a few of them with some conditions which were with an objective of getting reforms through. So the conditions were not indiscreet, they were very clearly aimed at achieving some of the objectives of reform. So the central government, at the time of the lockdown, post the lockdown, because of COVID, understood and in consultation with the states, increase the borrowing limit. So we have responded where there is a need for increasing the borrowing limits.
One is for the purpose of tax.
Yeah,
this is until from Mansilia. For the purpose of taxation, it may be central, state, or local. Isn't that the taxes are paid by Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, or India? That's number one. Number two.
Or?
Sorry.
What did you say? Karnataka, Andhra, or Indians?
What do you think? What is the rule for this? Second one, there are lots of illegality taking place in the case of fintech companies. They are violating IRIDA rules, they are circumventing RBI rules and holding deposits. And why is that illegal?
What companies did you put as a word adjective?
Fintech companies.
Fintech companies.
Aggregators, apps, whatever. Why is that no one is taking?
That they collecting deposits.
Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
I think you've answered your question yourself by saying Is it paid by Andhrites? Is it paid by Kannadigas? Is it paid by Indians? You have the answer embedded in your question itself. So it's worrying that sometimes when people want to rake up regionalism and question as though the center is an alien and the states are the ones which are going to have to ask such questions. You've answered your question, but I've just elaborated on it. On the fintech companies collecting deposits, which probably go against the law, there should be somebody flagging it. And if it's flagged, I can work with the Reserve Bank and ensure that it doesn't happen. Wrongdoings can be contained.
Swastika from CNN News 18. Mr. KTR earlier today had tweeted saying for every rupee that Telangana contributes to the central government, they receive only 46 cents. How do you counter that?
I think I've answered that several times and I repeat it. If every individual or state starts saying, I paid so much, so give me that much back, taxation principle doesn't work on that ground. That is why I quoted the example of Hyderabad and Hyderabad district. Will you then say everything that comes from Hyderabad district will have to be spent only in Hyderabad? Will you not use it to other parts of the state? This is a very regressive way of handling issues between center and state. This is a very regressive way. Then many other states equally, which are better probably in terms of the quantum of revenue that they contribute to the central kitty, you can ask no. It doesn't work that way. And he knows it, I'm sure everybody knows it. It's good for rhetoric, it's good for media, it's good because it keeps the temperature hot and higher, but it is not, I think it's disingenuous, if anything.
They were suggesting that there should be somebody which has the power to control the expenditure of the states, and it should be independent of the So they are suggesting that somebody should be there.
So the Planning Commission earlier, according to them, therefore, was controlling their expenditure and that was okay for them. But whereas under the Constitution, there is an act which tells the Government of India Expenditure Department should have an oversight over the state's expenditure, that's objectionable. So what is provided by Constitution is objectionable. Whereas what the Planning Commission, which at that time was not